When you watch a film at home, at your TV, or especially in a cinema, which part of a feature film is the least popular, do you think? Which part of the film is the least popular?
Rubbishy ending.
The rubbishy ending.
Like last night.
Well, last night. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. She hates it when a story finishes and you don't see what's happening after that. But you can clearly notice it, the more rubbish part, apparently, when you are in the cinema. As soon as the credits start, people get up and make their way to the exit. Actually, it's very unfair. Because the stars are always big and clear in the picture, the names come big letters, and as soon as their names pass by on the screen at the beginning of the film, it starts to get quiet in the cinema. But the names of all those dozens and sometimes hundreds of other people who contributed to the production of the film, they come at the end with small print. Often it goes very fast, out of view, and hardly noticed by anyone. Yet the big film stars could not work with all these other people. What is left of a film star if he or she is not well dressed? Or if the makeup artist does a bad job? Would James Bond be just as popular if there were no special effects specialists working on the film? No, in a good film, those little names deserve to be read. Their work is, however invisible, sometimes indispensable for the big stars. In the Bible, there is a story in which, as it were, one name is even missing completely in the credits. And that while what this person contributed was of great importance for the miracle the Lord Jesus performed. Of course, a miracle is about the greatness of God, but the special thing is that God often wants to involve simple people in this. And we can often learn a lot from such a co-worker of God. Perhaps when I read the Bible reading to you, perhaps you'll have an idea who I am talking about. And if not, certainly I will reveal it to you later. I want to read to you from the Gospel of John, John 6, the first 14 verses. And above it says, Jesus feeds the 5,000. Sometime after this, Jesus crossed to the far shore of the Sea of Galilee. I'm starting at verse 6, Martin. That is the Sea of Tiberias. And a great crowd of people followed him because they saw the signs he had performed by healing those who were ill. Then Jesus went up on a mountainside and sat down with his disciples. Verse 4. The Jewish Passover festival was near. When Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming towards him, he said to Philip, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" He asked this only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. Philip answered him, "It would take more than half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have a bite." Another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. "Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish. But how far will they go among so many?" Jesus said, "Make the people sit down." There was plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men were there. Jesus took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed to those who were seated as much as they wanted. And he did the same with the fish. When they had all had enough to eat, he said to his disciples, "Gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted." So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with the pieces of the 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. After the people saw the sign Jesus performed, they began to say, "Surely this is the prophet who is to come into the world." So far.